Hey Limitless Nation, today you're in for a real treat. Today you get to learn directly from Mathew Dixon. Guitar monk Mathew Dixon is a guitarist, composer, music producer, author, public speaker, entrepreneur, husband, and father. He has created cleaning music and meditations using Ho'oponopono that have been purchased and used in over 60 countries around the world. He is a co-creator of both the basic and advanced Ho'oponopono certification courses and is the founder of Zero Limits Music, a web-based company that focuses on creating Ho'oponopono tools and education. In today's masterclass, you are going to learn directly from the master himself, guitar monk Mathew Dixon. Let's dive into it.
Before you dive into today's masterclass session, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. It allows you to receive notification bell every single time we provide you with the contents that allows you to live a limitless life. Now, if you want to go deeper on learning on how you can hunt your future, make sure you download our masterclass session at huntyourfuture.com. It allows you to know exactly what you need to do to hunt your future. Plus, we are also going to share with you tips and tricks on what you need to do to live a limitless life starting from today's forward. Now, let's dive into today's masterclass sessions.
Hey, welcome Mathew Dixon.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and it's a pleasure to have you here with us. Now, Mathew, is there anything that we did not mention in the bio that you'd like to share with the Limitless Nation?
I think the bio covers the majority of what I do. I guess maybe it would just be to put the focus on that I work primarily in an ancient Hawaiian practice called Ho'oponopono. And it's all about basically taking 100% responsibility and aligning your energies and cleaning out any negative blocks or what some people call counter intentions, things of that nature. And for the most part, I do it. I'm known for doing it with music. And I actually put it subliminally. There's a mantra that gets placed subliminally underneath the music. And I don't know if the bio exactly says all that, but that would be the focus that I would say.
That sounds awesome. Now, Mathew, here at the Limitless Nation, we have a tradition of starting each and every single interview with a limitless quote or mantra or even affirmation. So do you have such a quote that you have embedded into your life on a daily basis?
Yes, and that is actually part of Ho'oponopono. There are 4 phrases, and the phrases are, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. And they end up going on autopilot after a while. You do it so much. But what you're doing is every time you're saying those phrases, it's aligning you with the divine and cleaning so that you're present in the moment.
Wow. So simple, but so profound at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It's very easy to do. In fact, when you start, they say that's all you need to know. And it really is. You just start doing it. Somebody comes up to you. And usually what I like to do is anytime I feel like either a fear or stress or discomfort, or if somebody comes up and says, I got to tell you something really important, and I'm thinking, okay, what is that? That is when I just go start, and we call it cleaning. Start cleaning. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. And just doing that in the back of your head, you practice it enough, you can do it and still listen to everything that's being said. But it kind of keeps you out of your own mess, instead of thinking, oh no, my boss is going to fire me, or, my spouse is going to divorce me, or whatever the scenario may be that seems frightening.
Wow. Well, Mathew, with that skill set and mindset, and I'm going to call it affirmations for the sake of the interview right now. With those affirmations, can you tell us about a time where you went through some type of difficult challenge or setback or even failure that you then utilized that?
Yeah, I guess it was my whole opening to that concept, because I was a person who, like many people, were raised and living in victimhood. And I didn't even know what victimhood was. Just the whole mentality of victimhood, completing these cycles and always doing the same exact thing and leading me back to that same scary result, rather than being open and going forth and saying, you know what, I'm going to do something that I normally wouldn't ever do, even though I'm afraid to do it. I'm going to move forward on that. And so when I first started getting into Ho'oponopono, that was one of the things that started to happen for me. I started to reach out a little bit farther. That's how I actually became friends with, I don't know if the listeners know, there's an author by the name of Dr. Joe Vitale. We work together a lot. If you look at my website, you're going to see we've done all kinds of things. We've done music together, meditations and things like that. But one of the big things was there was an event that I could not afford to go to. And I still remember the night. Doesn't sound flattering, but I was taking the garbage out. I looked up at the moon and I thought, I really want to go to that event. And I started cleaning. And then something told me, why don't you offer to play music on the cruise? And I thought, that's not going to be possible. It's, immediately my negative thought was coming through. And then I thought, oh, you got to clean again. And so it was like, okay, write a simple email. I did. And then the outcome of that, as I kept cleaning on it, is I got to go to that event. And it was a life-changing moment for me.
Wow. So can you go into a little bit more? We call it here an aha moment, that moment where everything changed, where you went from here to here. It sounds like you touched a little bit on it, but...
Well, it actually happened at that event. It happened at that event was called Zero Limits 3, and it was based on Ho'oponopono because Dr. Joe Vitale and Dr. E. Haliaka Hulen, that's a big one to say, but they had co-authored a book. And Dr. Len was a man who was credited with clearing out a whole ward of mentally ill criminals. He would go in, he would never meet with them, but he healed them and they kept getting released. Everybody kept getting better. And eventually they had to close the ward because there just wasn't enough people. This was back in like 1984. So this story had been going a long time. There was many other stories. So my aha moment was when I was going to that event, my wife was doing an event here in town. She was working for a company called Big Brothers Big Sisters. And it was an outdoor event. It was the first time that she was given the ability to do this event. And it was just pouring rain all week long, all the way up to it, pouring rain, pouring rain, pouring rain. And she was so worried about it. Every time she brought it up to me, rather than try to make it better, I would just clean on the rain. I would do my Ho'oponopono. And as I did that, she just went through her cycle and was, still upset about it. And when the day came, it didn't rain. But my aha moment was I had asked a question of, I'm going to just call him Dr. Len, so I don't have to say that big name again. I asked him a question about cleaning and could you get to zero and can you clean things? Is that really possible? I'm still in a very doubting stage, although I've had little miracles here and there. Even sitting in the room is a miracle for me. And he said, well, a lot of people thought it was going to rain today, didn't they? But it didn't. So somebody's cleaning. And that hit me like a ton of bricks because I felt like he was talking right to me. It was so off the charts. So immediately afterwards, I had to go up and talk to him. And I'm like, when you said that it was going to rain today and somebody's cleaning on it and it didn't, did you know that I've been doing that for a couple of weeks now? And he goes, no, not at all. He's like, I had no idea. He said, I just said whatever divine told me to say to you. And so that's kind of how it just kind of triggered right there. I went, wow, that's it. Just being clear. It's not necessarily that you're going to take credit for it and helping somebody. You may not even know the actions that are going to come from a simple thing you say to somebody, because if you are clear, then you are channeling a higher power. You're channeling, you can call it God, the divine, whatever you're comfortable with. But that's the premise there. So
wow.
That was my aha moment.
Wow. So you went from being for lack of a better word, negative victim mentality to everything just shifted where you really started to adapt into this Ho'oponopono and become limitless in a sense, where you go through this cleansing process and you just like release all that negative energy to allow you to step into your limitless self, as well as just attract the things into your life that you're looking for.
Yeah, very well put. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that is amazing, and that was a great example of how you came from. Huh?
I said it feels kind of like a miracle maker.
It does, like a rainmaker too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Now, Matthew, what are you working on right now?
Hope you enjoyed the masterclass session so far. Before we get into the second half of the session itself, it is very crucial for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I really don't want you to miss out on another masterclass where I'm going to share with you what other expert celebrities, Fortune 5000 companies do to become successful and live a limitless life. So make sure you subscribe right now, and every single time we upload a new video, you will receive a notification bell. This allows you to enjoy the masterclass on the regular basis. So make sure you subscribe right now. Well, as you are ready, let's get into the second half of the masterclass session.
Currently, right now, I'm working on a program with Dr. Joe Vitale that is a certification program. We have a method that we've developed, which is going to combine Ho'oponopono. And I don't know if your listeners are familiar with EFT tapping, but EFT tapping, you can tap blocks away. There's a physical method to it. And we've been doing it for years now in development, testing it, trying it. We have friends who are doing it, getting feedback. And we are now working on doing a video series. It'll be a certification program for it.
Wow, that sounds exciting. So
Yeah.
where can the Limitless viewers and listeners go to learn more about this program?
They can go to my website, which is zerolimitsmusic.com, all spelled out, and it's on there, and along with all my other music and meditations and certification courses.
Wow, thank you. So the website was
zerolimitsmusic.com.
zerolimitsmusic.com.
Yes.
Okay. And that's limits with an S?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, Mathew, when you first started this, your journey per se, was there anything that you could really tell that was really, and I think you tapped into this just a little bit, but what was the one thing that was really holding you back from becoming limitless and really going all out for your limitless life that you're living now?
The one thing really is fear of the unknown. And I kind of was saying how when you're in the victim mentality, you will continue to do things with the same negative outcome because at least there's a comfort there and you know what's going to happen. But to move forward on something that you're afraid to do and not know what the outcome is going to be, when you're in that victimhood, you're thinking of that. You're thinking something horrible could happen. This could be bad, but it could also be fantastic. And so that's really the point there is to not, I always say, like, a lot of people think that what they're hoping for is at the end of some rainbow. But really, I find that it's actually hiding right behind whatever you fear. And so if you head at the fear, drive towards it, comfortably, of course, you can't just go crazy about it. But usually the outcome and what you're really expecting, really wanting, you're rewarded on the other end of it.
I agree. So, Mathew, now that you've helped so many people through your Ho'oponopono and your music and everything that you're doing right now, what is a bit of advice that you received possibly when you first started out that helped motivate you to really become this better version of yourself?
Probably some of the best advice I got is the idea, and I shouldn't say the idea, but the reality that your reality is created by what you think. We all have a story. We all have a story of everything that's happening. And it's amazing how our brains will create this story. And it could be that, somebody cuts you off on the road. We'll create a whole entire story about why that happened and who that person is and how bad they are. And then we will start to believe it rather than maybe it was just a simple mistake. Maybe they didn't mean to cut you off. You don't know. So the story, if you change your mindset and you change your beliefs, then you're going to change the reality in which you exist in.
That is profound, and that is absolutely true. The things that you believe and think about yourself. I think I heard it 2 days ago or something like that. If you believe in a lie and tell it to yourself often enough, eventually your mind will believe it to be true, even though it's a lie.
That's right, exactly. Now, you have to be careful the influences around you too, how much you listen to people, how much you take. I mean, there's so much right now, especially with social media and things like that. You get information. A lot of times if I hear things that I really agree with in life, I still question those things when they're coming in because I want to make sure that, am I really believing this because I believe it to be true, or am I believing it because someone's influencing me to believe? And I have to watch out for that.
I agree with that. Now, Mathew, in your own life, do you have any habits that you have developed that helps you maintain this limitless life?
Well, of course, there's the cleaning, like I talked about at the beginning. The other habit that I do is called 7-second breathing. And it's if I have to do something, even before this interview, I did it. Because anything that I have to do, if I have to go speak, usually when I used to do it a lot when I would perform, or if I'm feeling ungrounded, and it's a very, very simple thing to do. And I call it 7 seconds because that's how it was taught to me. I think I timed it out once and I don't do 7 seconds. What you do is you breathe in through your mouth, and I breathe in, and you're supposed to breathe in for 7 seconds. But I count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in my head. So that's definitely not 7 seconds. It's probably more like 3 or 4. Then once that breath is in, you hold it for 7, we'll call it 7 counts instead of 7 seconds. And then release through the nose, if you can, depending on your allergies. Sometimes I can't. Release for 7 seconds, and then hold, or for 7 count. And then that would be a cycle of 1. So it's something that you can do literally in less than a minute. And it just really brings you back to center, really helps you become refocused.
Wow. Yeah. So it's nothing more than breathing, but breathing with a purpose.
Exactly. And concentrating on the breath. Yeah. But I find that holding part is the great part, because now you're not breathing also. So you've got that inhale, then you've got the hold, the exhale, and then a hold.
Yeah, it's almost like it forces you to calm down and slow down, because some people's brains, they move so fast that they can't focus.
It does. That's exactly right.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Now, Matthew, do you, in a hypothetical world, if all of the books in the world just disappeared and you only had enough money in your bank account to buy one book, it could be any book, but it could only be one book. What one book would be the first book that you would go out and purchase?
I would buy the book Zero Limits, which is the one by Dr. Len and Dr. Joe Vitale. That's the book I would buy.
Okay. Zero Limits. I like it. Now, Matthew, if you had the ability to travel back in time, is there any advice that you would give the younger version of yourself?
Yeah, to not be so afraid to try things, to not be so judgmental of seeing other people's successes and go, oh, that can't be real. Yeah, right. I know that's fake. I know that's phony. Getting beyond that and going out and just finding out what is true is much more important. But that's the work part, and it takes work. It takes courage, and but if you don't have courage, you're never going to grow any further. And the thing about it is, you are going to go out there and you're going to find things that are going to knock you down. There's no perfect turnkey situation where, hey, now you got the best life in the whole entire world and nothing ever goes wrong. Well, that wouldn't be much of a life, would it? How would you grow from it? But instead, going out, having the courage to go do it. So that would be the thing I would try to convince myself, knowing myself I wouldn't listen to me.
But at the same time, to paraphrase kind of what you were saying, is to, even though you're scared of something, to take consistent, imperfect action to at least move forward towards where you want and need to go.
Yes, absolutely. It's okay to be a little vulnerable.
It is. Now, Matthew, where can our viewers and listeners go to learn more about you, Ho'oponopono, as well as just to connect with you?
That would be through my website, again, zerolimitsmusic.com. And there's not only just my products on there, there's also some freebies. I have a free book download that's on there. There's some free music on there. So there's stuff that you can check out to kind of get a feel to see, does this resonate with you, rather than going, well, he says it's good, I should do it. Well, go feel it out for yourself. That's what I always recommend.
Now, you mentioned a book. What's the title of the book?
Oh, the book is called Attracting for Others.
Okay.
It's a 5-step formula where I'm sorry, I thought I had those notifications turned off. My computer just dinged. It's a 5-step process that when I was starting out with just trying to get rid of counterintentions, even before finding Ho'oponopono, I got introduced to it by the movie The Secret, which if no one's seen The Secret, I would highly recommend it. But then finding out that sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't, and it was really kind of like, wait, why is it working and not working? And so I had a lot of difficulty with it. So I came up with a process where you take yourself out of the equation and you actually attract for other people. And I've got stories in there of how I've done the attraction for other people. And if you attract for them and you get good at it, you're really learning to attract for yourself, because we're all coming from one. We're coming from one thing, one source. We're all connected. So
Wow.
That's what the book's about.
Okay. And the Limitless Nation viewers and listeners can all find that book for free on your website.
Yeah, free ebook anyway. Download.
Okay. Well,
If you
thanks
really
for
want
sharing.
to buy it, it's out on Kindle too, but I don't know why you would.
All right. Well, Matthew, thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you, Donovan. I really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I'm sure that the Limitless Nation has been inspired by your story. I know I myself, my brain has expanded and I really enjoyed it. You gave me so much knowledge. Wow.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Well, until next time, this is Donovan saying stay limitless.
Well, that's a wrap. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the word subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on learning on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donovan on what you need to do to hunt your future on every aspect of your being. This allows you to live a limitless life on every aspect of your life starting from today's forward. Plus, you are going to receive tips and tricks on what you need to do to tackle your day, tackle your challenges on every situation, every single time. So go ahead and download it right now, and until then, stay limitless forever.